We are live, and you can restream or you can start a watch party on your side.
Okay. There is no button for a watch party. Why is that? Watch. Ah, it's loading. 1 second. I can share. There's no button for a watch party.
Where?
You're going to be there.
You need to go to Facebook, and on Facebook you see a watch party.
Yeah, I say like, comment, share.
Okay, and where do you watch it?
Meir Ezra.
Okay.
Maybe I have to go to my own page.
Okay, so you should be able to see a watch party.
Okay. I did it earlier today, and now I don't. Here it is. No, I cannot. I can only share.
Okay, good. So hold on. Okay. And now?
Maybe because it's in a group. Refreshing. You see it?
Okay, and we are live also on Instagram, and we're just waiting for Shemaya to set up the watch party.
That's strange. I see Gal sharing. I see Meir Ezra is live now. Do I have to go to your page?
You should go to my page probably, or your page. I'm not actually. I think you should be able to do it from your page, from your profile.
That's what I thought, but the button is not there.
Okay. So.
Pedro is joining us.
I think we should start, and then later on you'll do the watch party.
I'll do the share. Okay, good, no problem.
Okay. Hi. How are you?
Hello. Welcome. Great.
Good to see you.
Definitely great to see you. Today is going to be extra big party. We don't have a watch party, but it's a watch party anyway.
Yeah.
Because we have amazing businessman, basically friend of mankind, and Dr. Chris MD, who did some really amazing breakthrough discovery on helping children. So today we want to talk about children, parents, and what parents can do, because it really is a big problem.
Yeah.
And I know that Meir has done a lot with Parent Academy and in schools. And so we want to share with people what can be done and what actually has been done.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't you start and maybe tell me what you're doing first, and then we can add on that, because I know that Chris doing a lot of special things with the children, and maybe he can give the overall picture, and then we can add to that, because I think what he's doing is so important that everyone should know it. Really, really important.
Yeah. Yes. And he's seen you realize that he has seen over 500,000 children.
Wow.
That's 500,000 children. That if you go to a stadium with the Super Bowl, it's 5 of those stadiums full with kids, of kids. He has delivered over 1,000 babies. So he's seen a lot of kids, and he's seen this problem happening. So maybe you can tell more about what you've seen happening and the solutions, what the medical world has, but really is not a solution.
Yeah, solution is only a true solution if it solves the thing and if it gets down to the basic. Excuse me. So basically, I've noticed since I studied in 1980, in the 80s, I noticed that in our textbooks, 1 out of 10,000 children would have like a behavioral problem, so a behavioral issue like hyperactivity or autism or Tourette's or something, having twitches or so. And the professor said, you need to learn this, but you're probably never going to see it in your career. It's like 1 in 10,000. And today the numbers are like 1 in 7 children, never mind the 10,000. So every 7th one is it. So what changed in our life on the planet in the last 60 or 70 years. That's where the answer lies. And yes, so they diagnose this as a label. You got, you know, a symptom complex. There's no test, there's no pathology. You can't do anything, a test on a slide or a microscope or an X-ray. The psychiatrists make this label so that now they can legally drug a kid because he's got a diagnosis, and they can charge money from the medical systems for the consultation. And I mean, almost half the children diagnosed out there with this label of ADD and ADHD, which I just call hyperactivity, they are on drugs, which makes the problem worse. So here's the thing. There's a lot of toxins, medicines, drugs, pollutants, and things in our environment. And what that does to the body in a small dose, it makes you hyper, it agitates and overstimulates the body like any chemical does, like alcohol, a few sips and you party, but you take a little bit more and you become groggy and you become like lethargic and unfocused. And if you take more, then you die. So that's kind of what all toxins do to you. So yes, there's a big toxin onslaught, but you can't remove a child from all the toxins because it's not possible. You can reduce it, but it's actually the body's ability to recover from the damage done. I always say, if you smoke one cigarette, you don't die of cancer. You smoke for 40 years and the body gets so far behind in recovery that you eventually get the cancer or the emphysema, structural damage, and dies. So that's what happens. If your child is growing, he's got a big need for nutrition. If he has all the 90 building blocks of the body, every single one, you can repair every single thing that breaks. Just like a fancy motor car, a light bulb breaks, you can't put like something else in there. It's got to be the right-hand side light bulb. Excuse me.
I think that's something just want to emphasize here, because you mentioned the 90 nutrients, but that really is key, because you've helped and you've improved. You've been able to improve many kids that came to you, wouldn't give them psych meds, but that there are 90 essential nutrients. That is something that's very little known amongst people. Maybe you can go into that a little bit.
Yeah, it's not something that people pay attention to. It's too simple. If you're building block, 90 building blocks, you need them all to keep the body in good shape. Now, I must say, any symptom that you have, any symptom in the body is just the body's message to you, the body manifesting that it's trying and it's busy healing. If it cannot heal because it's lacking the building blocks, the symptom perpetuates, goes on and on and on. You cut your hand, you put a band-aid on, a week later, you can't even see the mark. That's how magic the body is. But if you have a symptom like arthritis or hyperactivity or can't pay attention, and your body cannot heal it, it's a symptom of healing. It will go on and on and on, and more problems will come, and it will manifest more. So we know the building blocks, there's 60 minerals and trace elements, there's 16 vitamins, there's 12 amino acids that are essential, there's 2 fatty acids, which the membranes are made of. And if you have all those parts, like the spare parts selection, the body can always heal. It's got this natural instinct to heal. If one is missing, you cannot heal, and the thing gets worse and worse. And you might say, okay, why? But I can just eat some fancy food. But our soil is depleted. It's crop sprayed, the farming methods, the cooking in microwaves, the preservatives, the processing of food. There goes all the nutrients. The plants, they only gave them 3 nutrients, artificial fertilizer to grow, and the other 58 nutrients or minerals are not present in the ground anymore. In the old days, the rivers used to flood every year, and it would throw all the minerals and the silt and slick on the banks of the river, and that's where they planted their vegetables. Now they do it quite differently on the hills and the hilltops. Anyway, so that's the first thing. You must basically give the child all the nutrients, because you cannot even get half of those building blocks from your food, even if you buy the best. So once that is done, I call this the acknowledge phase. You acknowledge that there's nothing wrong with the child. Yeah. The mother's fine. She's just uninformed. It's not her fault. And we need to give the body all the building blocks. That's the first step. And if you do that, magic happens within a few days, like you're turning a coin over. It's so quick.
Wow.
And that's key. That's also what you teach. When he said the first step, acknowledge that your child is perfect. Because they want to label and say something is wrong with it, there's a mental disorder, but really the child is perfect.
He's just malnourished, he's hungry.
I think that when we're looking at the problem of children, really there are 2 parts for the problem. The first part is obviously nutrition, and the second part is the parents. So children, if they have perfect parents, or if they don't have parents, that affect them negatively. So if they have the parents that really working with them and the parents are perfect, the children will not have a problem. But if the parents are there and destroying them, the children will, even if they will have everything perfect around them physically, they will go nuts. And when the spirit is going crazy, the body go crazy. Because the job of the spirit is to keep the body in check. And when the spirit is not in a good condition, it allows the body to do anything it wants or anything it's doing. And because of that, the body will have all kinds of manifestations. So from what I saw, I had a program in Israel where we took the worst school. It was really, it's in the north of Israel where I was born. It's a small country, a small city at the border with Lebanon. And in the worst neighborhood, in the smallest city, in like really not an advanced city at that time. Today it's a bit different. We took the worst school, about 300 kids. Most of the parents had problems with the law. I can say that probably 80% of the fathers are in jail and no money. And of course, most of the kids, more than 80% of the kids were failing miserably at the exams and had a lot of problems, behavioral issues. And the explanation is that they're sick, that they have a lot of attention deficit disorder or different disorders. Each one had one or more labels, and some of them got medication, some did not get medication, but it didn't change the result of the testing, and it didn't change the result of being in problems with behavioral issue. So we did a trial there. We did a program, and I'm not going to explain exactly what we did, but all we did, we actually educated the children, the parents, and the teachers on how to handle communication between kids and parents, and what the parents should do with kids, and what the kids should make sure that the adults doing. So to cut a long story short, in 3 months, there was another test. And in this test, there was not one child that got below 7, if I remember correctly, 72% in the government exam. This thing was a test that was done with one of the biggest university in Israel, University of Haifa. And not
was
in
it
all...
before?
Sorry?
The grades, because you said after the 3 months, and then what was it before when you started?
Before that, more than 80% failed. More than 80% failed the exams. So big change in 3 months. Not one case of violence, where before they had at least 2 cases per day of violence between the children. And the parents and the children and the teachers reported a major change. And over the next few months, the change became even more evident. And there was, I was working there for about 8 months. And in all those 8 months, there was not one case that those children did anything wrong, not correct, not polite, not like big, massive change. And those children that used to be hyperactive became hyper smart. And those children that had attention deficit disorder became with attention and with a lot of order. And all of this thing was done just by changing the viewpoint of the parents. First of all, the parents, the teachers, and helping the children themselves to know what is right and what is wrong. So I think that the handling is composed of two parts. Number one, of course, if the body is sick, the child will be under stress and there will be a problem. Yes, if it's, but those children, because they because they didn't have the chance to eat a lot of bad food, because there was not food, they just didn't have money. So most of these children just ate rice, potatoes, some chicken once per week. They didn't have money to go and buy chocolates and all of these things that normal children eat. So in a way, they were lucky on the physical part, because they didn't have access to all of those toxins. The vegetable, they will grow themselves, the vegetables, because they didn't have money to go and buy. So the families will have their own chicken. So they will grow a chicken that will make some eggs, and they will grow some vegetables, because they didn't have money. You understand? There was no money. So everything was like between themselves. So in a way, they didn't have the problem of the modern life. So that was good. So if this is on this, so if this is not an effect, if you take this kind of kids, you can handle them by that. But if you have that problem of the adults and the teachers and this thing, plus the physical problem of food that makes you crazy, then I think the problem becomes 10 times bigger, not twice as big. It becomes 10 times as big. For sure, you need
And that's the program that, so the first step was the nutrition. Then we, like you said, taking out the toxins and everything harmful. And then the last part really is, once like the body is stable, now you can handle the spirit, the being, the parents, the environment, taking care of that. So it's really cool to see what's possible. So it's exciting to see how many.
The program had about 320 something kids, almost 320 something. I don't remember exactly the number. I have the statistic. I have the study for, if anyone wants to see, you can send me a link. It's in Hebrew, but I can send it to you. Yes, I have it. I think we have also a summary in English. I think, I'm not sure. And the interesting part is that since then I've been working with lots of kids, and before as well. And every problem that I've seen with kids is actually rooted with the behavior of the parents. I never actually saw a problem that I needed to fix the kid. We're doing in Israel, myself and my partner and my best friend Danny, doing in Israel the Parent Academy for, I don't know, 12 years, I think, 15 years, something like that. More than 1 million people went through that. We didn't have to fix one kid. We didn't have to talk to one kid. The kids want to come because they want to learn and because they see the change with the parents. But the handling is always the parent. You fix the parent, the kid all of a sudden become a flower, something that you cannot even imagine how beautiful. And I think that if someone will ask me to give an advice to a parent, what to do, how to change, I will say to the parent, first of all, the first thing that I would suggest is, don't do to your kids what you wouldn't want someone to do to you. So if you don't want someone to shout at you, don't shout at your kids. If you want someone to tell you, turn off the phone, don't tell your kids, turn off the phone. If you don't want someone to force you when you come from home to do homework, don't force your kids to come when they come from their school with their work home to do homework. So don't do to your kids what you wouldn't want to other people to do to you, and stop lying to your kids. What do I mean? Don't lie to them that without education there's no future. Don't lie to them that if they will not eat, they will not grow. Don't lie to them with all those lies that parents tell to the kids, because you teach them to lie. You teach them to lie. And then you're getting upset that they are lying. So if the kid doing anything wrong, the parents doing the exact thing, maybe it's dressed differently, that they think that the kid's doing wrong. So if the kids don't talk nicely to you, just record yourself when you talk to your parents. Just record one phone conversation, or when you talk to your wife, or you talk to your partner, just record yourself, and you will see that your kids love you so much and admire you so much that they want to be exactly like you. And if you think that those things in you that are not okay, for them, from their viewpoint, you are God. You're more than God. So if you shut, it's the right thing to shut. If you do drugs, they will do drugs. If you get divorced, they will get divorced. And if you look at yourself, you'll see that even if you don't admire your parents, you're behaving like one of them. Most of the time, even if you didn't admire your parents, you behave like one of them, at least in some of the bad stuff, yes? So my advice to you is if you want to improve your kids, if you love your kids, don't do to them what you wouldn't want to do to others. Don't lie to them. And probably if one of the most important for the husbands and the wife, if you love your kids, love your spouse. Super important. That's if you do just these three things, you will see you'll have the best kids in the universe. And actually you will see that it will pay off in a few ways. First of all, you're creating a future leader. Second, you making sure that your future is secure, because those kids will take care of you and one day you will need them. And you will see that you helped everyone around you in the family, because everyone in the family and in society will rely on those kids that has been grown in such a way. So that's my advice. That's what I would suggest. And if you want to learn more, I'm going to start probably next week, the Parent Academy. So just private message me and I will invite you. It's totally free. And just
or comment below in the comments, and then we'll let you know when we start, and we can start the link. Because what's really amazing, what's beautiful is with the Parent Academy, there's the parents change, the children change, it becomes a ripple effect, because they start changing in effect, because other people see them and say, wow, those kids are so amazing. And I have to say with you, Meir, like all your three kids are just beautiful kids, like beautiful, like so genuine, caring, pure. You can see like they're beautiful beings, so smart, so bright, just amazing. Very fun to be around.
Yeah, my son. I'm not obviously. I'm not biased, about my kids.
I know. They'd like to too. It will be great to see Gal speak. It will be great when he starts doing webinars.
Yes.
He's an amazing speaker as well. So yeah, that's very exciting. Today, Chris' new book is on Amazon available. No More Band-Aids 2.0, finding answers in a broken medical system.
Wow.
So that's very exciting. So he wants to now. So the joke is, after practicing for 36 years as a medical doctor, now he's professional. No more practicing. Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, just, that's exactly like I reverse engineer the steps. So the first is acknowledge that it's I just wanted to reiterate it, that it's not a child that's anything wrong with. He's just showing symptoms and he needs the vitamins and nutrients. The second step is discover what foods to give him, what toxins to leave out. And the last step is design, where you must rekindle and rehabilitate the relationship that is messed up, learning skills so that he can excel in school, and then create this family unit so that he has a platform from where he can excel. And that's exactly where you come in. So we can work together very well. I need a program and would like to use this one in my academy with my patients. So very well done for that.
So how do they contact you, Chris? So if someone wants to do the test or to find out what's going on with the kid's body, what do they do? And by the way, is that apply only to kids or also to adults? Because sometimes I see adults that are worse than kids. Like that's what my wife tell about me. She's I'm a kid.
So, there are adults with attention deficit or those symptoms also, but basically all adults, chronic disease in the 1960s was 1 out of 50 people would have a chronic disease. Today it's more 64% in America, so there's more than 1 out of 2 And it's the same thing, the nutrients, their bodies can't recover. They get cancer, heart attacks, all these dreaded diseases, and all these chronic rheumatoids and high blood pressure because of lack of deficiency. I can only go in one niche, but they really all need it. Otherwise, they cannot survive optimally on the planet. To contact me is just show me how doc, D-O-C, like doc, show me how doc@gmail.com. When I have a Twitter and an Instagram account where the handle is just Power Kids MD.
Okay, great. And if you don't know how to find Chris, you can write a private message me. You can follow me on Instagram, Meir Ezra Official, or if you see this video, you can just leave me a comment, and I will send it to Chris. We are very good friends and very close. So if you need anything from Chris, just let me know or contact him directly. Good.
Yeah,
Do you have an Instagram that they can follow?
Yeah. Very cool. So the Parent Academy, can you share a little bit more about what is involved and what is it?
Okay, the Parent Academy is 50 lessons. So it's a big program. It's 50 lessons. Each one is about 1.5 hours. And it takes all the aspects of what a parent needs to do to be a good parent. Because when you become a parent, it's apparent that you don't know how to be a parent. Because no one taught you. No one taught you. And there are many, many opinions. Yes. And there are many opinions about what is the right way to be a parent. Probably more opinions than parents, yes? So some people say, well, I need to be like my parents, and some people say just not like my parents, and some people, they say all kind of things, but then they do exactly what their parents did. So they have a viewpoint, and they see that the viewpoint is not useful, it's not working, but and they start to come with all kind of they're changing all kind of things, and they fail and they fail and they fail. And at the end, what they say, well, it's not me, it's the kid. So then they drug the kid, they give him some medication. And now the medication work. It actually works. It makes the kid not disturbing the parents anymore. But it also kills the kid. It makes him he loses his life. Because what does it mean, hyperactive? Hyper mean more, and active mean able to do. So hyperactive mean able to do more. It should be good things, not a bad thing. It's not good for the parents because the parents cannot do more, but the kids can do. It's good that they can do more. When I went to this school, the story of how I started with this school, the headmaster of this school is a guy that grew with me in the same city. So I came to him and we are kind of friends. And I told him, so you're running this school and what's the problem? He said, well, these kids are terrible. And I said, why? He says, well, their parents are in jail and the mothers cannot cope and it's a terrible situation. And I asked him, tell me, if I'll take the parents out of jail, the fathers, if I'll take them out of jail, will the kids become good? So he looked at me and he said, no. I said, so what is the problem? So it's not the problem because, okay, I'll take all the guys out of jail. And he said, no, it would actually become worse. So that's not the problem. So what is the problem? So he said, I'll tell you the truth. I don't know what's the problem. And he was smart. He was very smart because if you don't show that you can fix the problem, for as long as you did not fix the problem, you don't know the source of the problem. And the only thing that a smart person will say is, I don't know. Because to say I don't know is to know something. Because now you can start looking. So he told me, I don't know. I said, okay, good. So bring me the worst guy. So he brought me this guy and I said, what's his problem? He said, well, he has attention deficit disorder. He cannot concentrate. I said, what do you mean he cannot concentrate? He said, he cannot sit for 5 minutes in the class without destroying the class. He fights with everyone. He fights with the teacher. He fights with his friends. He's terrible. We don't know what to do with him. And I said, okay, good, bring him in. So we bring this guy. He's like, I think 8, 9 years old. Sweet, nice guy, like really small guy. Like, how can he do anything? And he said, no, don't misunderstand. He's terrible. I said, okay, fine. understand. He's terrible. As I said, can I test him? He said, of course you can test him. So I went to the guy and I told him, look, I'm going to give you a test, but in order for me to make sure that you can do the test, because it's a speed test, you need to learn how to use the keyboard quite fast. I'll give you a game, and you need to play Tetris for 20 minutes. And when you play Tetris, you will learn how to use the keyboards, and we use the same keys on the test. So the guy understood, the child understood. Okay, I said, no problem, I'll play Tetris. So I put him on the side of the office, and I continued to talk to the headmaster. And he was playing Tetris, and after a while I called the child and I said, hey, Ben, like after 10 minutes, and he did not answer to me. So I asked the headmaster, why is he not answering? He says, concentrated. I said, well, one second. Didn't you tell me that he has a problem to concentrate?
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he said, well, no, it's different. I said, no, it's not different. The problem is not concentration. We just proved that he knows how to concentrate. The problem is what you give him. The problem is not concentration. He doesn't have attention deficit disorder. His attention was too much, like he couldn't hear me. I called him, he couldn't hear me. It's actually the opposite. It's had too much attention, yes? And the headmaster just realized, and he said, you know what? You're right. The problem is not attention. I said, good. So do you want to solve the problem? He says, yes, I want to solve the problem. I said, good. So let's solve the problem. And I showed him what needs to be done, and we solved the problem. And the problem was actually solved, not because I said so, not because any parents, any school that will do the same very simple steps will get the same result. And this guy, the headmaster, is a very, very good friend. And I didn't know him before that. I knew him generally from the city, but over the years we became friends. And I told him, Yossi, tell me, we're going to do this thing. And he says, yes, I really want to do that. But Meir, we don't have money. We have very poor school. How are we going to pay for all of that? And the beauty of this program was that the kids deliver it to the kids. So we teach the kids how to deliver the program. You don't need teachers. And the teachers deliver to the teachers, and the parents deliver to the parents. And all of a sudden, it costs nothing, because they just need to do some stuff that we give them, and you write it once, and you give them the instruction, and for as long as they know, in our case, Hebrew or English, whatever the country, for as long as you know how to read, you can do the program. And it's quite fascinating. It's really, really, really unbelievable, the result, the result in terms of behavior, and the result in terms of relationship, and result in terms of scores in the exams, the government exams. It's not like some special exams that we develop. Just the normal government exams that they used to fail miserably. I think 82% of the kids got above 86 on the exams. 82% from 80% were failing before. And this is like a fact. It's not something that I said was checked by an independent university. It just happened that the lady that was working in the education ministry that was responsible for that area was a doctor. And this lady wanted to do a special doctorate work and whatever she was doing on her next level and next study. And she took that project as a study. So she was doing it with her professor and and it was an amazing success. The numbers were like unbelievable, almost like someone put in that school smart magic or something, like the true powder, smart powder, and all these kids became smart. And the truth is, no one put no magic, because those kids were smart already. We just suppressed them all this time. Yes. They were smart already. It was not the magic was not the putting the powder, is actually taking the suppression powder, the stupidity powder from how would have been handled before. because the kids are smart already. Never met a kid that did not have good intention. Never met a kid that could not learn. Never, never, never. And actually I said that how do you know that you know something? You can explain it to a 6 years old. So if I'm the teacher and I cannot explain it to 8, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, I don't know. That's the big shock, because my job as a teacher is to teach. And if I don't teach, it's not that the children have learning disabilities, it's the teachers have teaching disabilities. And usually it's not even the teachers that have teaching disabilities, is the system forces them to teach in a way that don't let them use their natural ability to teach. So the teachers are suppressed. So they suppress the children together, and the parents get all the problems. So the parents suppress the children, and you have a situation.
Yeah, but it's amazing that you can turn it around like that. You should have that in more schools. So I'm excited to hear you're starting Parent Academy.
Yes,
because
I'm
it's changing.
very excited.
Because we've been in that class and we have other friends, and the lessons that you learn are really actually Relationship Academy. The basics of life skills are relationship.
Yeah, actually, my son started to call it the Family Academy.
That's very nice.
Yeah, he said, look, because he was watching some of those webinars, and he said that, it's not just for parents, it's actually for the whole family. It's a family academy. You teach people how to live as a family, how to have this good relationship. And why don't we call it the Family Academy? And I said, well, you know.
Yeah,
like
smart. See, I told you your kids are amazing.
Yes, exactly. It's not because of him, it's because of me.
So I want to ask
the kids are extension of your ego.
It's once a week for a year, but what if they come late? Somebody only discovers it after a month and he's missed the first 4. You do it every year, or modules that they can do self-coaching, or must it be live?
Yeah, so you get a recording, number one. First of all, each lesson is an independent lesson. So you don't need it's not relying on the previous data. So generally, each lesson is a standalone lesson. Probably the exception is you will need to learn the first 1 or 2 because it gives you some basics. Now, if you are not there, if you miss something, we will just give you the recording and you can just watch the recording and catch up. But the best would be that you'll be online and we will promote it. So we'll have probably 3, 4, 5 weeks now of free webinars that we will just explain what it's all about, and we will invite people to come. And we're making it very, very accessible, like 50 lessons. I don't remember how much it costs, but it's very, very, very low cost, like extremely low cost. So anyone can afford it. And the idea is to introduce, to help parents to help their children and to create a better society. And many people are asking me, so why don't you make it free? Because I found that anything that I make free for a longer time, not just as a presentation and, not just presenting the program, people don't find it valuable. If you get them to pay, even if they pay, I don't know, $100 per lesson, okay? Or $50 per lesson. If they pay, even if they pay $10 per lesson, yes? If they pay, they show up. If they don't pay, same lesson, extremely valuable, they don't show up. It is a very interesting thing. So people need to pay.
You would do them a disservice if you make it free. They won't attend. They won't get the benefit of it.
Yeah. So it's very interesting that in order to get the benefit, you need to pay. So I made it relatively low cost, and what you get is unbelievable in terms of value. And like everything that I do, you get money back guarantee. So let's say you bought 10 lessons, you can buy it at 5 lessons, 10 lessons, 25 or 50. And let's say you bought 10 lessons or 5, and you've done all the 5 lessons and you're not happy and you want your money back, you get your money back, no question asked. Even if you didn't like it just because you don't like my accent, you love the material, but the accent is not so good, no problem. Or because you didn't like that I used the gray shirt and not blue shirt, whatever, you know. For any reason, if you don't like something about it and you want your money back, you'll get your money back. Never had someone that asking me for the money back because the value is so unbelievable.
And kids love it. Kids love it because their parents change.
Yeah. The kids write me success stories. Yeah. What did you do with my parents? They're so good. I knew they're good.
So do the kids and the parents present together, or only the parents come for the academy?
Usually it starts like the parents come along, but very quickly the kids start to come. The kids can come, they're invited. It's not that I'm telling them not to come, but usually it starts with the parents come and then the kids join. And you know, it's so powerful that those lessons, if you take them and you apply one lesson, just one lesson, your life will already change. If you apply just the advice that I gave you today, just don't do to your children what you wouldn't want to do to you. Just that. It's simple. It's been in the Bible tells you to do that. Don't do to your friends what you don't like them to do to you. This is at least in the Jewish Bible. But I think it's on all religions say that in one way or another. So apply it to children and you will see the magic. You'll see the magic, just that. If you don't like it, don't shout at them. If I will do to an adult what the adult do to a child, he will kill me. Imagine that I come to you now, you're sitting quietly playing a game or watching a movie and I just take your hand and say, okay, we're going, woo! Imagine that I will come to you and I say, you have to eat. And say, I don't want to eat. And say, you have to eat. And no, I will force you to eat. What will you do? You will kill me. Imagine that I will tell you, well, you know, this toy that I gave you, you remember I gave you a present? Now I come to your home and I take it. Because this is what they give the child a toy and then they go to his room, his home, and they take it. They steal from the child because it's his. If I will do to you what you do to children, what not you, yes, but what the parents do to children, wow, you will not, like, if I will shout at you the way that parents shout at children, if I will talk about you next in the presence of other people, like parents talk about their children, wow. And there's something very interesting how parents can look at that. You see that parents most of the time feel that they have an agreement with God, that they have an exclusivity on doing bad things to the children. Why? Because when they do something bad to the children is good, but when someone else doing the bad thing to the children, they go nuts. Like when someone else don't talk nicely to their child, they will attack that person. But when they don't talk nice to the child, it's education. So it seems like they want an exclusivity on being mean to children, to their own children. But it's really, all you have to do is don't do to your child what you wouldn't want others to do to you. And probably the reason why parents do that is because they don't understand that children are not a different life form. They're people in a small body, that's all. Now, it doesn't mean that they have the same rights and the same obligation, but they have the same feeling. They get upset, they get insulted, they get tired. When they're tired, they behave differently. When they're hungry, they behave badly. They're just people in a small body. They're not a special life form. And once you understand that, there's not like amoeba, animals, I don't know, cats, blah, 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 dogs, people and children. It's not a different life form. It's people and children is the same life form. So you behave to them the same.
Very true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Great. Well, thank you so much. It really was
Thank you.
to talk to both of you. That was funny fun.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Thank you. Amazing. I love this program. I think it will help a lot of people. And I think the further we'll go along into life, the worse the food gets. So this is super, super, super important. It's literally life-saving, because this is really, it can save lives. So that's how important it is. Life-saving. I think you should call it saving the life of your child, or life-saving vitamins, or something like that. Because it's life-saving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll integrate on this. I will get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's really amazing. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you're doing it. And I'm happy for you that you can help so many people. But I'm happy for all the people that are listening, that have this resource. Because if you have a problem right now and you want to know what's wrong nutritionally with your child body, who do you go to? You go to a doctor. He will give you more drugs. He will make the body more toxin. Who do you give it? Who do you go to? I don't know about anyone that professional, not just hoo-ha. Someone that really knows both sides of the game. He knows the body and he knows the nutrition, and he has like a full picture, and he understands the behaviors and he understands everything. So I think that you're going to change this world. Amazing.
I love to. Yeah. Together we do this.
Thank you so much.
Nice. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching. Amit and Swapna and Avi Budara, hi. Viyaha, hi. And Lisa Phillips and Komi, and lots of other people that are on Instagram that I don't see the comments, but I know you are there. Right now, I see that there are quite a few viewers on Instagram. So thank you for watching. Thank you for watching on YouTube and on Twitter. And I will see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.